Yes, is. The thing is, I want to manage the state at component level. Okay, this is my app. I want to manage the state. Which state you want me to manage? Okay, these three state variables, something effectively. I don't want to write like use state each and every time. Okay, I don't want to update like this. Okay, something different. Okay, effectively, if you want to handle, then you can go with the user reducer. That is one thing. So, first of all, you know Redux, right? First, in Redux, if you want to store some data, first default data is required, so that we created one variable like this initial data. Okay, done. My initial data is like what? My player name is like nothing, hero name is nothing, and student name is nothing. This is my initial data. Come to the Redux. Who can update this data? Who can update this data? This data updated by whom? This data updated by reducer. This data updated by reducer. So that I created one reducer. All these things I placed inside my app only. See if you observe here. Okay, this is my function. Inside the function, you can write one more function. Okay, inside the function, you can write one local variable, no problem at all. So I created one reducer. How my reducer looks like? Same how you created the reducer in your Redux, same like this I created. See, my reducer, it's like normal JavaScript function, which takes two arguments. One is like my current state, another one is like the dispatched action. So based on your type, okay, what you want me to update? Okay, if my type is like a player, I want to update the player name inside my state. If my type is like a hero, I want to update my hero name inside my state. Okay, like this I updated. Finally, I return state. This is my reducer. When this function get a capability to update your store data, when this function get a capability, whenever this function register with the store, then only or not. So here in your Redux, if you want to create the store, one is like Redux library is required. Okay, by using that library, we have the method called as a create store method. By using that one, we can create the store. But here there is no Redux library, nothing. So how we can create the store means yes, my use reducer acting like a store. So I created one use reducer. Yes, okay, this is my use reducer, not created. Okay, these are the references. Just leave it. Use reducer. Okay, perfect. Now this use reducer. Okay, use reducer is the hook. My reducer, which reducer? This reducer, okay, has to register with this store. You can say this is like a store. Okay, for if you want to remember. Okay, now perfect. How we can register means just pass your reducer here. Yes, I passed your reducer as an argument. Then the time this reducer get a capability to update your store data. And one more thing I said, like in your Redux here, you assign this initial data. Those people said like, hey, don't assign it, just send me as a second argument to me. I will take care. Okay, that one I passed as a store data. Okay, current state, current state. So my use reducer take how many arguments? One is like your reducer, which is used to update your store data. The another one is like your initial data. Perfect. Now tell me, who want to call this reducer? Who want to call this reducer? Who want to update the data? That guy has to call this reducer or not? Okay, how we can call one reducer? How we can call one reducer? By using a dispatch method or not? So that in our case, if you open, in our case, if I enter the player name here, at the time of clicking on the button, that data has to store within the Redux store. That data is going to store here or not? That means that data you are going to show here or not. See here, the flow is looks like this. Okay, let me open Paint. Okay. See this. Here the scenario is, this is your data. Okay, this is your text box. This is your text box, and this is my button, submit button, or whatever it is. Okay, button. If you enter the data, can anyone tell me the flow? If you enter the data, whatever the data you enter, that data, that data. Yeah, if you enter the data, that data go to where? That data we pass to reducer. That data we pass to reducer. Okay. That reducer given this data to whom? Okay, that reducer place this data within my store or not. So this is my reducer. Okay, that guy is going to place this data inside this store. That is my flow. This is my store. Once you updated the data within the store, that data I want to show here. Okay, this is the one or not. If I enter section here, if I click on the button, that data I given to my reducer is going to place it in the store, and the store data I'm going to display here or not. This is only the flow or not. This is on the flow or not. See, at the time of clicking on the button. Now, if you come here, this is my button. At the time of clicking on the button, this method is going to execute it. Okay. Now you taken the data from the text box. See this. This is the data you taken. Okay. Once you have the data, you given this data to what? To my reducer or not? Anybody want to connect with the reducer? How we can connect with the reducer? Can anyone tell? If anybody want to connect with the reducer, how we can connect? If anybody want to connect with the reducer, how we can? By using dispatch. So how we can get the dispatch method? That is the question. Okay, how we can get the dispatch? One is like by using store.dispatch. Okay, another one is like by using connect method second argument. Another one is like by using trunk. These all are like different ways we can get the dispatch. But those libraries I didn't use here. So that my use reducer told like, yes, you need dispatch. It's okay, fine. So
recording in progress.
Give you the reducer. I will give you the dispatch to you. How my use reducer gives? My use reducer is the method, right? So as usual, it's going to return some value. Which value it's going to return? One array it's going to return. In this array, the second argument is like a dispatch method. In this array, my second argument is a function. That function is acting like what? A dispatch function. Okay, in this case, my use state, if you observe, this is also my second argument is like a function only. This function is acting like what? To update your variable name. Same like this. Here also second argument is like a function, but that function is acting like what? Dispatch function. So once you have a dispatch function, what we can do? Can we dispatch this data? Once you dispatch this data go to where? Go to my reducer as a second argument. Inside my reducer, you already used the type, right? In this case, my type is not a mandatory one. Don't worry about this type. But to differentiate that action, you can say like type is required. So my player, and here my state, my action.payload is nothing but this one. Okay, the player data. My type is like a player is nothing but this one is going to execute here. My action.payload is going to execute or not. Okay, that means my action.payload, you can get the data, it is going to update here or not. That is the thing this happened. Okay, now finally it is going to return the state or not. So once you return the state, that data is going to update within the store. Now where is your data? My data is inside my store. Now what? Once my data updated inside the store, that the store data I want here or not, I want to display here. So how we can means, again he said like, if you want to get the data from the store, how we can get it? One is like by using connect method, another one is like by using get state. Like this you can get it. One is like connect method, another one is like store.getState. GetState also method to get the data from the store. Again, store.getState is nothing but store is required. Store required is nothing but Redux library is required. Connect method if you want, then that time React Redux library is required. So that these two methods purpose is what? Give me the state. Whatever the store data is there, that store data has to give. Okay, those two libraries you're not using, right? So that I only provide you the store data. Okay, how we can? My second argument is like dispatch, right? My first argument you can say like a store data. Once I have the store data, which is nothing but this data, how we can get this PN? Like this, you can get it or not. So that my store.pn, my store.h, and my store.xn, like this, you can get it. That's it. Okay, that is the reason. If I click on this one, my flow is like this. Okay, if I click on this one, the data we pass to reducer. My reducer update within the store. My store data already I taken and displayed where here or not. Okay, init data.pm. Init data no. Okay, did you use init data anywhere? Okay, init data just initial data. That's it. It's like a initial data. Okay, this data we are going to use like a store data. Store data we are giving to my reducer. Okay, in your Redux also, did you use init data? From init data, we are taking the data from init data in your Redux. In your Redux, from where you taken my data, you stored within the Redux store. From here, you have to take the data, not init data. Understand or not? My data is inside store. So from store, you have to take the data, not init data. Understand or not? Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Okay then. Now I want to use my use reducer as like a Redux. That means state management at application level. At first time, okay, we create one application we discussed, right? Okay, Redux. How to integrate Redux in your React. Okay, the same example I want by using use reducer. Just open, run that one. Okay, the same example I want. npm start. Okay. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, just let me know. Any questions so far what we discussed? Any questions? You can unmute and you can talk.
Can we see the flow in the console? Because when I tried to debug in the console, it was like going in loops.
Not like that. If you see this, go to the source. This is the one, right? Refresh your page. Okay. Now I want to click on the set hero name. Okay, this is the one. Okay, my hero name is like this. If I click on this one, yes, this is the one. Okay, you've taken the data. From here, you have to dispatch the data to my reducer, right? So that you are dispatching this data. This dispatch is coming from where? This dispatch is coming from use reducer already. This is the function or not. Dispatch action, see here. Dispatch action function. Now, once you dispatch, this data go to where? This data go to your reducer. This data go as a what? Second argument. So my first argument is what? Initial data. This is my initial data. My second argument is like my payload is like NTR and my type is like hero. So that my type is like hero, then the time this particular case is going to execute here. So it's my state. Now once it is done, my state is final state is what? My hero name is like NTR, my player name is empty, my student name is like empty. Now this data is going to return. Once you return this data, that means my store is going to update. Now wherever you are using the store, okay, see this. My store is nothing but this one now. Okay, this one is going to update. Now wherever the store we used, that data also will update. Now if you come here, okay, once my store is updated, okay, you just go to next React DOM and everything, just leave it. Now if you come out, then the time NPR is going to come here or not. That is okay.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you, sir.
Any other questions? Okay, then just wait for a few minutes. Starting the development server. Can we create one more file like user reducer 2? Just you can take use effect. Okay, this is my component. Yeah, see this. Okay, here this is one component. A is like one component. If you observe here the code, okay, go to my source. A is like one component, B is like one component, C is like one component. See here. A is one component, B is one component, C is one component. My A has some data name. Okay. Now if I click on the submit button, okay, my A pass the data to my what? to my C or not? What is the relation between A, B, C? Can anyone tell? What is the relation between A, B, C? Is there any relation? Is there parent to child or child to parent like that? Is there a relation? Is there? Okay, there is no relation, nothing. All are like siblings only or not? All are like siblings only or not? My A dispatch the data to my reducer. My reducer is going to give this data to my store. Okay, from my store, my C get the data or not? From my store, my C get the data or not? Yes or no? That is the thing, or that is only the thing, right? Okay, if you see this one, okay, this is my app. Okay, I just open this one, you can understand. What is this demo? Demo is not yours. This now come here. If you observe here how my app is looks like, see this. This is my A component, this is my B component, this is my C component. Okay, what my A component is going to do? Can anyone guess what my A component is going to do? What my A component is going to do? Can anyone guess? My A component take the data from the text box. My A component take the data from the text box and dispatch the data to my reducer or not. What my reducer is going to do? My reducer is going to update the data within the store or not. Okay, my reducer is going to update the data within the store or not. My reducer is going to update the data within the store or not. If my type is like update name, okay, he is going to return this data. Is nothing but it is going to update the data within the store or not. Once this guy, at the time of clicking on the button, okay, this data dispatched to my reducer is going to update the data within the store. Now, immediately the data is going to reflect within the C. It's nothing but what already my C is connecting with my store data used by C or not. What my C is going to do? Can anyone guess? Inside my C component, which type of code you written? Inside my C component, which type of code you written? My C component has to connect with my store or not. My C component has to connect with my store or not. Both. My C component has to connect with my store or not. See, my C component connect with the store. My C component connect with the store is nothing but my connect is the method which take one function as an argument. Okay, that function is like a callback method. That callback connect method by passing your store data. That store data we return like an object. That particular written data is available to by this particular argument or not. What is that argument? That argument is like to whom you want me to connect. Okay, which component want to connect to whom? This component C component want to connect with my Redux store or not. So that one you have to pass it. Whatever you return, that return value is going to be available like a prop to my C or not. So that you display. That's it. Okay, here the thing is you get the store data here or not. Okay, once you get the store data, you return it. That return data is available to my C like a prop. That is the example we discussed. The same example I want by using use reducer now. Understand? Okay, so overall how many components are required? How simple it was, you can understand. Come on. Okay, first, how many components are required? Constant A is one component. Constant B. Constant A, B, C. My A contains what? Come on. A contains what? My A contains one text box. This is my A, right? One text box button. My A contains text box and button. This is my A component. My A contains one text box. Okay, name. Okay, next. My B contains what? My B contains what? My B contains one more text box and button. One more text box and button. Okay. Maintain here. The C contains what? The C contains what? My C contains what? C contains name. These three components where we can load. components we can load here or not. Open with live server. Yes. Okay. Now if I enter some data, if I click on the submit button, this data has to, okay, this data has to give to my reducer. My reducer has to place this data within the store. Okay, that store data has to taken by my C component or not, like that. Yes or no? Agreed or not? So for good. Okay, what is required now? Can anyone guess? What is required? First, initial data is required. Now, it is not specific to one component. Right now, I'm not managing the state at component level. Okay, so my initial data and everything is like a global now. Okay, you can write in another file, or here itself you can write like a global. Generally, you can write this one in another file, you can import it. You can write this one in another file, you can import it. Okay, that one we'll see later. Okay, can I write like init data, constant init data? Okay, what data you want me to manage or maintain in the store? Which data you want me to maintain? Name and location. Perfect. My name is this one and my location is this one. Who can update this store? Who can update the store data? Who can update the store data? Reducer. So that can we write the reducer? My reducer. Okay. Otherwise, if you want to copy paste from there, okay, no problem. You can write. Done. Next. My reducer take common arguments. Can anyone tell? My reducer take common arguments. Common arguments state, comma, action. Okay. Do you want me to keep like this? Do you want me to keep like this? Init data. Do you want me to keep like this? Do you want me to keep like this? No. Okay. This is takes care by whom? This assignment and everything is takes care by whom? This assignment and everything takes care by my use reducer or not? My use reducer. So that leave it. Okay. Here what you have to write? Write one switch case or if condition, that is your wish. But you can use switch case now onwards. Action dot type. What is my action? Okay. What is my type? Your wish. Your wish. Which type, that means which name you used here at the time of dispatching, my type should be the same, matching one. Then only this block will execute. So that my state equals to what? My current state, next. My current state, next. What do you want me to update? Name, right? Name with what? Name with action dot payroll. Action dot payroll. Yes. Okay, this is the one. Okay, update location. Update location. Okay, state, my location is this one. Okay, finally, you returns what? You returns your state or not? Yes, done. Okay, my function ready. When this is acting like a reducer, when it can get capable to update your store data, whenever it's going to register with your store, then only it can get the capability or not. So here, who is going to acting like a store? Who prepare the store and everything? Okay, you can say like just compare with the Redux with use reducer. My use reducer is acting like a store or not? So can we write that use reducer? My question is where you want me to write. Multiple components are there. In the past, like only one component is there, but here multiple AV is there, A is there, B is there, C is there, YAP is there. Where you want me to write the use reducer? Can anyone tell? Where you want me to write this use reducer? Okay, where you want me to write the use reducer? Can anyone? Okay, you can understand this is like a store. Okay, you can say this is like a store. Okay, just for understanding purpose, I'm telling it's a store. Okay, I want to create a store. So that can we create the store here simply? Okay, in my root component. Okay, how you can create the use reducer? Anyone guess? How we can create? Come on, my React dot use reducer. Yes, you created a store. Okay, it's take common arguments. Can anyone? My reducer. The next one is what? Initial data. Which returns what? One array. Okay, that array contains how many elements? Two elements. What are those? My store, comma, my store, or you can say state or whatever it is your wish. My store data, comma, next one. My store data, comma. Okay, it's not initial data. First time we did initial data, Next time what? Updated data. Next time updated data. Like this. Store data you can say. Store data. The next one is what? Dispatch. Okay? Yeah. Now my question is, see this. My store and dispatch is available where? My store and dispatch is available inside which component? Inside which component? My store and dispatch is available inside app component. Perfect. Root component. Whatever you want, you can say. App component. So in this example, who want store data? Who want to dispatch method? Tell me. There has multiple components are there. Multiple components are there. Which component want dispatch? Which component want store? Which component want dispatch? Which component want store? Can anyone guess? Who want to keep their data inside a store? That guy requires dispatch, so that my A want to keep the data inside the store, my B want to keep the data inside the store, so that these people has to give their data to my reducer by using dispatch method or not. So my A and B components want what? Dispatch method. Who wants store? Okay, who wants store data? Okay, my C wants store data or not. Whatever the updated data is there, that data I want here. So that in your application, few of the components require dispatch, few of the components require what? Store or not. Okay, that store and dispatch is available where? Inside my app. These are like a local. How you can make this store and dispatch is available to all your children's, direct or indirect? How you can make some data is available to all my children's, either it's a direct children or indirect children? Yes, by using context. That's the reason I said like my context. By using context only, we can do this operation. Yes or no? By using context. So you know, right? Okay, how you can implement context in your application? Okay, first what you needed? 3 steps. First what you needed? Can anyone guess? First, React dot create. You have to create the context. Next, come on. The next one, CTX dot provider. Okay, use context to consume the data. Okay, don't forget, use context to consume the data. First 2 steps are common. Okay, use context hook is for what? To consume the data. When you can consume, somebody provide the data, then only, right, you can consume. Okay, CTX dot provider. Okay, close this. CTX dot provider. Okay, how you can give this data to this provider? Okay, how we can provide the data? By using which key? Value as the key or not? Value as the key. Now tell me, only one value you want me to give or multiple values you want me to give? Only one value you want me to give or multiple values? Okay, some of the components requires dispatch, some of the components require store. I don't know who requires dispatch, who requires state. So that if I make it available to all my children's, direct or indirect. Now these all are like direct. Okay, for example, my C has one more component that is like indirect. Okay, I want to make available these 2. Okay, how we can make it available? Can you do one thing? Okay, through object can we make it available? Okay, how we can prepare an object? My store comma dispatch. Okay, who not understand this syntax? Can anyone say? Okay, I am providing store and dispatch in which format? Okay, outside one is rendering. This is your object or not? Object contains what? Key value. Here, what is my key? What is my key? What is my value? My key is like a store and my value also like what? Store only or not? Here, my key is like dispatch, my value also dispatch or not? Agreed or not? It's like a shorthand syntax or not? Yes or no? Now you provided one object. Okay, that means one object, make it available to all my children or not? Now, come on. Once you make it available to all my children through context, any children can consume the data from the context or not. So these children want to consume the data. So how we can consume the data? Now your use context come into picture. Use context. From which context you want me to get the data? Which context you want me to consume the data? From CTX or not? CTX. Now whatever they provided the data, okay, that data they return or not. So this is your This is your context data. Can anyone tell? My context data is which type? My context data is which type? My context data is which type? Whatever they provided, that is only it's written or not. Which data they provided? What do you think more? Which data they provided? Which data they provided? An object data or not? So that my context data is an object type which contains how many properties? Two properties, store and dispatch or not. Keys and values both are same. So that in this case, what you required inside A, store is required or dispatch is required? Dispatch is required. So how we can get it? CTX data dot dispatch when it's required. At the time of clicking on the button, then only you have to give this data to my reducer or not. So can we write that code here? How we can write it? My on click equals to function click. Can we write here constant function click, open one and closed one. Can we get this data? How we can get this data? Your wish. On change or reference we can use it. Okay. My reference. Okay, how we can react dot use ref is the method. Okay, it's a hook. Can we give this reference to this guy? Yes or no? Repeated code. Okay, how we can get it? The value my reference dot current dot value or not. This is your name. This is your name. Once you have the name, you have to dispatch this name to the reducer to update your name or not. So how we can? By using dispatch method. Where is your dispatch method? Inside my context data. So that my CTX data dot dispatch. Take one object as an argument. My type is like what? My type is like update name to update the name or not. It should be matched. Okay, the data he is expecting is which key? Payload is the key or not. So this is my name or not. That's it. Understand or not? The same thing. Can I copy? Can I go to my B component? Can I go to my B component? Okay. Now this is my reference. Can I give this reference to this guy? How we can? My reference equals to my reference. Okay. And my button, can I write like my on click equals to what? On click equals to function click or not? At the time of clicking on the button, you take in this location. This location I want to give like a payload. Okay, what is my key here? Okay, type update location. My payload is my data key. Update location or not. Done. Update okay. Yes or no? Now, my C, can anyone tell? My C, which one is required? My C requires what? My C requires context data. Inside the context data, store is required or dispatch is required? Which one is required? My store is required. So that how we can get it? My CTX data dot store. Okay, once you have the store, how we can get this data? Store dot name and store dot location or not? Store dot name and the next one is what? Store dot location or not? CTX data dot my store dot location or not? It's or not. Okay. Now by default, if you observe here, not at is required, right? So default to data is what? Not at. So that can I write like here also? Can I write like not at? How can I refresh my page? This is the one. Yes, not at and not at. Okay, can we debug the code? Can we debug the code? Now can we go to my source? Can we go to my source? Okay, now one by one. This is my reducer. Okay, this is my A component. So it's not highlighted, right? It's not in the active. Put the debugger. Put the debugger keyword. Put the debugger keyword. Now, can I put like name? I click on the submit name. Yes. Okay. You taken the data. You taken the data. My context data contains what? See this. Dispatch and store. My store contains, see this, name and location or not? Name and location. Now you dispatch this data, then the time it go to my reducer or not. Once my data comes to my reducer with your action, type is like update name. It's nothing but the first case is matching, so that here my name is like what? Sachin is going to update here or not. So it's going to update it. Okay. Once it is updated, it's going to return this state. Once that state return, okay, already, Okay, once the state is written, that written data go to my store. Okay, that store data already used within the C or not, so it's updated or not. Yes or no. Okay, now I'm going to give like a mobile. Now if I click on this one, yes. Okay, see how simple it was. Immediately is updated. Same like Redux only or not. Same like Redux only or not. Okay, here, if you observe here, see this. It's an object format, right? Why here two braces? This is an object. This is an object. This is your rendering expression. This is your object and this is your rendering expression. Okay. Understand? Okay then. Sometimes, okay, is it really my data stored within the Redux store or not? How we can check? Okay, is it really my data stored within the Redux store or not? How we can check? Okay, is it really my data stored or not within the Redux store? How we can check? Okay, by using Redux Logger. By using Redux Logger, we can check it. Okay, but here there is no Redux Logger library, nothing. Same like this, I want to print some console messages here. Okay, how we can means very simple thing. Now we come here. This is my reducer, right? Okay, here you can write my console message like this. Redux Logger not there, so that you log the messages now. Okay, this is the one. Okay, new state. Okay, previous state. My previous state is this one. Okay, this is my previous state. The next one is like the action you perform, console.log. Okay, the action what you performed. The performed action is this one only or not. This is my performed action. Once it is done, this is only your updated state or not. Once this switch case and everything is completed, this is your updated store or not. Console.log out. Okay, new state. Okay, this is done by whom in the past? In the past, this is done by my Redux Logger. Now you are logged in the message. They are also written like this only. Okay, the next one is like what? My new state is this one or not. Now see this. Okay, refresh your face. That is warnings you can resolve. The H1 should not be inside D or something. Or go to source. Okay. Now I enter some data. Name such. If I click on the submit name, see this. My previous state is like what? Name not it, location not it. You are performing one of the action like what? Type is like update name, payload is like such, and this is the action you're performing. Okay, once this is updated in your state, this is my new state, name such and location not it or not. Now here my location is like Mumbai. Now the new state is like submit location. Now see this, my name is like Sachin. It's like not it. Okay, my type is like updated, and then this is the location, and my name is like this one or not. This is the way it's going to work. How simple it was. There is no libraries, nothing is required. Understand or not? This is the way we are going to manage our state at application level by using use reducer with the help of use context or not. With the help of use context. Okay. Okay, then there has two more hooks also there. Okay, one is like memo, and another one is like use memo. Another one is like use callback. These are like performance related hooks. Okay, so that tomorrow will continue those two. So I will upload this code as well as videos also. I didn't get the video, yesterday's one and today's one. Okay, I will upload once I get this video. Okay, for now, just I will upload this code. Okay, once I get the videos, I will upload that videos also. Just go to that one. Okay, so tomorrow we'll complete those two hooks. Okay, our plan is like this. Tomorrow we'll complete remaining hooks. So that first, second, third, there is no class, and fourth and fifth we can take it. Okay, after that we can think, is it required? Okay, 11th and 12th. Okay, next weekend we'll see. Okay, on 4th and 5th we'll decide. Okay, tomorrow we'll complete hooks. Okay, okay then. Okay, you can download from here. Okay, uijavakit.com. Code and everything I paste inside JavaScript tab only, right? From here you can download. Yesterday also I uploaded. From here you can download. Okay, sample projects. I will tell one of the sample project I will give once or next. Okay, tomorrow I will tell. Okay, the description I will tell. Just you can try from your end. Okay. Okay then. Thanks guys. Thanks for joining. Bye.